Opening the portal now.
You were never one of us.
Happy New Year, dear viewers. Andrew Lapomardo for Marvelous Videos. Today's topic is the top most destructive and powerful Doom monsters. Depravity, destruction, Delirium, Doom. Released in 1993 by id Software, the pixelated hellscape of Doom is gonna remain burned into the memories of every gamer as a pioneering FPS experience, alongside id's Wolfenstein 3D. Both of them are seminal to the gaming industry, introducing the first-person perspective as a legitimately thrilling platform for players who are now able to immerse themselves in the gameplay. But where Wolfenstein 3D treaded familiar territory in Nazi soldiers and conspiracy theories, it was the surreal threat of a demonic plague in Doom that left us mesmerized. Everything about this game draws you. The immaculate level progression, the borderline-psychedelic analog graphics, the silent protagonist, and his limited, yet lethal arsenal that seriously tests you during epic boss fights, forcing you to rely on tactics as opposed to Hail Mary bullet sprays. The 2016 soft reboot takes everything that made the original Doom iconic and tweaks it with next-gen graphics and level design to give us a better realized version of id's original vision. Doom 2016 is a nightmare that doesn't end. Desolate landscapes dotted with marauding souls, terrifying creatures, and an increasingly bleak perspective of resolution. Of course, no apocalyptic shooting game can be complete without some particularly frustrating enemies, and Doom's big bads will make you want to smash your console over and over and over and over again. Let's take a look at some of the nastiest demons our Doom guy has to slay. Here they are, the top most destructive and powerful Doom monsters. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
As all things were made by my hand, so shall they be unmade, starting with you.
Dark Lord. Let's start with the end, or the beginning, according to Doom lore. The Dark Lord answers the particular question. What would happen if Tony Stark was a massive Robert Baratheon fan? Just look at those horns. Jokes aside, Doom Eternal's Ancient God extension introduces us to the progenitor of the Doom universe. And he's all kinds of scary and demented. His regular appearance is unsettling enough, demonic symbols covering his body with two glowing red eyes that pierce your soul. It's when he dons his mech suit that things get crazy. It looks like the Hulkbuster armor and has powers similar to Strange Supreme. Doomslayer's encounter with Davoth takes him through 3 locations and 5 rounds, with each of them making the Dark Lord more feral and fast-paced. In the first round, he is able to perform 2 brutal melee attacks, a shield bash and a crucible slash, both of which instantly drain your health bar. So, distance is key. He can also discharge a sentinel wolf to chase you and attack you or fake you out with slash attacks to steal your health. So, stay vigilant. As the rounds progress, his powers increase. By the time the final round rolls in, he'll be spawning spirit monsters left, right, and center, while discharging projectiles and bombs to keep the Slayer constantly on the move. One misstep, and that's it for you, so keep moving. The only chink in his armor, so to speak, is the green-tinted charge-up that he performs before slashing at the Slayer. Attacking him then will leave him stunned for a few seconds, giving you your best, and perhaps only, window of attack. Pro tip: use the Sentinel Hammer as much as possible, and keep replenishing your resources by constantly attacking demon spawns. Trust us, you'll need everything you've got.
As it was written.
Icon of Sin. With a name so badass, it only makes sense that the Icon of Sin is one of the most difficult demons to deal with in Doom Eternal. If you ever thought the immobile bosses were easier to deal with, this manifestation of space-time consuming sin will rain down hellfire on your beliefs and remake them with your ashes. It's like the Minotaur became a thrall of Hades, was decked in hell runes, and then given pure white armor as a sick twist on the concept of morality. Doomslayer has to go through each part of his armor and body across 2 hellish rounds. That includes some of the game's most vivid depictions of violence and dystopia personified. The first round sees the Slayer strip the icon of its armor, attacking each part until it's destroyed. Players must be careful though. Once a part is removed, it stops taking damage, so don't waste your bullets on a gauntletless arm. You gotta be careful in general, because if you don't move quick enough, the icon will get you. He might be stationary, but he packs a hefty punch, and his ranged attacks are deadlier than your physical one. From the pentagram symbol on his head, he shoots a concentrated beam that can track you to an extent, making it lethal at short range. He shoots fireballs from his appendages and can use a demonic spell to convert all demons present on the battlefield into a carpet of electricity, dealing compiled damage to the player, before being replaced by more demons. Once his armor is removed, he gains the ability to summon frigging ground-melting meteors and heavy-duty demons. This will keep you on the move non-stop. Long story short, move fast, take cover, and spam those infinite crucibles if you want a grasping chance at survival. Cyberdemon, or the Tyrant, a demon from hell, augmented with the destructive capabilities of human technology. The Cyberdemon, aka the Tyrant, embodies the twisted marriage between science and esoteric forces that forms the basis of Doom's conflict. The 2016 reimagining builds upon this classic Doom villain by giving it a terrifying backstory and a serious makeover. The Tyrant is a hulking behemoth with pale pink flesh, moose-like antlers, and 4 beady eyes that crown in an ever-hungry mouth. His entire body is covered in natural armor, with his limbs getting the best, or worst, upgrade from the UAC. His right arm has a large blade-like bone at the wrist, which deals a devastating melee damage, and also allows him to hurl, checking notes here, walls of hellfire straight at the Slayer. Okay then. His left hand has been replaced with an orange rocket launcher, specifically designed by the UAC to rapid-fire missiles with a ridiculously strong laser blast. On his back is an advanced mortar system that can easily raise the arena with quick succession aerial bombardment. And with his insane health bar, it's gonna be a very long game of cat and mouse if you decide to engage him in a conventional attack pattern. Fighting the Tyrant is one of the longer boss fights in Doom, as it stretches across 2 rounds and demands up-close confrontation. On the other hand, defeating this cosmic aberration will give you 2 of the most satisfying glory kills of the entire game. And that alone is worth gritting your teeth through it. Baron of Hell. Don't let their title of nobility fool you. The Barons of Hell are more like Frank Herbert's Vladimir Harkonnen than the ones who signed the Magna Carta. Listed as the personal guards of the Dark Lord in UAC's Codex, they are furious fighters with a bloodlust unparalleled to any other demon that exists in Hell, and have never been sighted by a surviving expeditionary force. Enormous, red-skinned monstrosities with goat-like hooved feet, carved horns, and a propensity for jump stomping your ass into the dirt. Don't let their lumbering frames fool you. They might walk slow, but can cover enormous distances with their leaping hinds and will crush you into oblivion if you are not attentive enough. Barons are naturally larger and faster than their lesser brothers, and also possess the ability to generate hell energy fireball, much like the imps, albeit more powerful, which can be hurled at a target to create Slayer soup in an instant. Often appearing in pairs, taking down barons can be tricky because of their erratic and destructive attack pattern. One leap attack and the next thing you know, your legs have been ripped off and your head's been crushed by a baron. So keep your distance and stirring up those headshots, circle strafing them with a hail of bullets. Alternatively, you can use a fully charged chainsaw or the BFG 9000 to effectively one-shot the creature, but the glory kill requires some practice to perfect. Pro tip: like any top dog, barons hate the sight of their inferior relatives. So the next time you tussle with one, lure it amidst a horde of enemies and catch that much-needed breath as they battle it out amongst themselves.
Demon breach detected.
Pinky Demon. There are times when the saying "nothing can top the original" could not be further from the truth. This is one of those times. Doom's classic demon gets a full-bodied makeover while retaining enough of the original's traits to still be recognized as Pinky, the Doom community's name for this base-level enemy type. Fun fact, id Software canonized this fan name, hence the title for this segment. But it isn't all fan service and gameplay insignificant. The Pinky Demon will bum rush you to death if you lose sight of it for a split second. It looks like the Blob infected with the Doomsday virus, a grotesquely misshapen mound of pink flesh with bones protruding from its appendages in jutting spike-like formation, and a fang-filled mouth with tusks that can maul you. Their natural armor is thick and devastating, transforming their charging bodies into battering that can outright kill you. If you somehow survive the charge, they will proceed to gore on your flesh without hesitation. So, when you see one heading towards you, it's best just to get out of the way. Killing them is a much trickier ordeal. Your chainsaw will be able to cut through its hide, but only if you have 3 fuel charges. Its exposed fleshy backside is its only weakness, which can be exploited with the super shotgun, but will need clever maneuvering on the players. The best way to get rid of it is to trick it into hitting a wall or balcony railing, leaving it stunned and exposed to damage for a few seconds. Cacodemon. You know how Mike Wazowski keeps ranting about wanting to become a top scarer like Sully? Well, if he looked anything like this, he'd be filling up scare jars like on a conveyor belt. Big demons are bad. Fast demons are worse. But flying, plasma-spewing demons might just be the worst kind of scum roaming the slough lands of hell, in search of prey to quench their insatiable hunger. The Cacodemon is every child's nightmare realized. A floating monstrosity with shriveled limbs, wart-red skin, one green eye, and a massive teeth-filled mouth that can swallow you whole. And, indeed, that is what it will try to do. This demon lithely floats towards the Slayer, lobbing plasma balls at him to slow him down. It can also do a rapid-fire version of this attack, which will stop him in his tracks, allowing the Cacodemon to chomp down with a sickening crunch that shaves off an alarming portion of your health. Despite their relatively meek appearance, they can take hits without flinching. So, shooting at them without a plan is an instant no-go. Their weakness lies in their primary organ for consumption, their mouths. Lob a frag grenade in it to stagger the beast before executing a glory kill. Alternatively, you can take it out from a distance by using the ballista, which is specialized for combating aerial units. Whatever you do, don't get caught.
What did you hope to accomplish by coming here, mortal?
Maledict. People who cut deals with figures from hell just can't catch a deal, huh? Ghost Rider got turned into a flaming skull. Light Yagami got a killer soul-binding notebook. And Dr. Malcolm Betruger got the full xenomorph treatment, complete with a nasty tongue face. There is a debate about the philosophical self of the Maledict. Is it Betruger transformed into, merged with, or replaced by a demonic entity? What isn't up for debate, though, is its blood-curdling depiction and malevolent intention. Think corporeal fallen one, with a wyvern-like body, except the skin is bone, and the wyvern can summon hellfire. The Maledict brings the player into its own dimension, which is a horrifying skull volcano and a sky of fire in the backdrop, to take their artifact. It engages them in 2-round battle, with the largest health bar of all Doom 3 ROE villains. In the first round, he has 2,500 hit points, and will constantly spawn forgotten ones to attack you. While there isn't an issue by themselves, when combined with the Maledict's fireballs and flame wall attacks, they're enough to keep you on the edge in this uncomfortable terrain. The fireballs aren't so bad, but the flame wall is deadly and will burn right through you if you don't avoid it. After depleting its health bar to 25%, you will trigger round 2. This time, the Maledict has 5,000 hit points, isn't flying around exposed, and will summon gigantic meteorites to bombard the landscape. You know, standard demon stuff. Keep your artifact handy, because despite its demonic origins, the Maledict is no match for Helltime, which will allow you to chain enough attacks to damage it severely, and can even turn his meteorites against him if used right. If you do everything right and manage to deplete all of his health, it will trigger a cutscene, and that will give you one of the goriest glory kills in the Doom franchise. And this is years before they were even a thing. Guardian of Hell. Killer Croc could have taken some styling tips from this flaming Goliath, because, honestly, the Guardian of Hell puts the literal fear of damnation in us. A gargantuan entity that stands at 15 feet tall. This thing is all muscle with hooved legs, Morningstar-shaped lava-luminescent fist, back armor that is also flammable, and a very long tail with, you guessed it, a mace-like tip. Its face is the incarnation of primal fear, tusked, fanged, and eyeless to depict its primordial blindness. That's not a concern for it though. It is impervious to all damage and can attack in all directions, making it functionally immortal. Try shooting at it and see for yourself, as it drains your health bar quicker than you can say Guardian of Hell. Its superhuman strength deals slash damage to the player as the Guardian pounds the terrain with its fist, which consequently fires off energy orbs in 8 directions. And if it slashes you, it might just be game over. The only way to kill this eldritch abomination is to target its eyes. Sorry, did we say eyes? We meant seekers. This triad of floating entities serves as the Guardian's eyes, and its only weakness. If you take out all 3, it will be forced to create more from the energy orb it houses on its back, exposing its weakness for 5 seconds. That is your only window for dealing some actual damage, so prepare to unload your chain gun as fast as possible. If your attack sequence and timing are spot on, you should be able to take the Guardian down in as little as 3 rounds. If not, well... Spider Mastermind. Is there anything more terrifying than a chain gun wielding robotic arachnoid that can tear your head off with 467 bullets sprayed per minute? As it turns out, yes, there is. The classic Doom was headlined by the perfect foil for the Doom guy, a 4-legged, Brainiac-inspired spider whose bullet-to-head accuracy is higher than that of a teenager at a frat party. Trying to put down that mechanical menace was a hassle in 1993. In 2016, it became close to impossible. The Spider Mastermind is a perverse culmination of the wrongdoings of mankind in the Doom universe, blending technology, biology, and demonic powers to channel them through a grotesquely designed vessel that has one goal: destruction. With its unique physiology, the Spider Mastermind dominates whatever terrain it is in. Its mechanical legs grab and slash at the player with unbridled fury. And that's just the melee attack. On its belly is an underslung gun that fires energy blasts similar to the plasma rifle in rapid succession, as well as a connected laser beam, which is extremely powerful. Its body modifications allow it to shoot that laser beam in multiple directions and angles, forcing you to duck and weave through the attacks. And that is not all. The Mastermind can flip itself over to protect itself while firing, saturate the field with lethal bombs, convert the flooring into an electrical field, and create spikes out of the pillars it summons to sneak attack you. What will you do when you have nowhere to take cover? The only weakness it has is its exposed face. But shooting it is the last thing on your mind as you run around trying to avoid getting hit fatally. It's one of the most draining boss fights for sure, as you have to aim, shoot, dodge, and repeat with incredible finesse if you want to survive. If you do though, you're rewarded with the most cold-blooded glory kill in the series. Archvile. Curious about the burning pits of hell, but not keen on visiting them? Don't worry. These bony demonic pyromancers will give you a personal tour. The Archvile is, as its name suggests, the vilest kind of filth that populates hell. Forged from hellfire itself, these foul creatures are amongst demonkind's smartest beasts, which makes them natural leaders and rulers in their own realm. They harness the esoteric powers of hellfire to charge up their attacks and hold a degree of sway over all the other demons through their psychic link, subjugating and turning them into rabid attack dogs. And they look like they've been plucked out of a nightmare, beefed up, been given fangs, with bones stretching all over their muscles in the shape of armor. It's enough to give a grown adult the creeps. Fighting an Archvile is more difficult than looking. This demonic bugger is smarter and stronger than the rest after all. Being a super heavy class enemy, it is immune to the Slayer's chainsaw and can withstand BFG projectile, which puts you at an immediate disadvantage. You're backed up further by the Archvile's knack for teleporting out of danger, which can even detect an RPG lock on him from a mile away, rendering it ineffective. And if any of its fire attacks catch you, you're gonna have a hard time getting back in the game. At medium range, it sends out shockwaves of fire to burn you away. At long range, it summons a puddle of hellfire underneath you. So fighting up close is your best option. Oh, and one other thing. He'll be summoning roided up versions of every demon in existence while hiding behind a firewall, much like most people on Twitter. There is no technical limit to how many he can summon. Asking you to approach it with caution seems like a moot point. Strategize properly before engaging with one, and keep on it until it turns to dust, because that is the only way to kill them. Otherwise, they'll kill you, and it won't be pretty. The Harvester. We can't believe that the most demonic-looking thing on this list is a multiplayer-exclusive character that is named after a crop-gathering machine. Still, we have to admit that the Harvester has one of the coolest character designs to ever feature in the Doom franchise, even if it looks more or less like a summoner. Its skin is red-veined with blue, and its body looks like an exoskeleton, with gauntlet-like wrist protection and a large yellow rune carved into its chest. Its skull is perhaps the most hideous feature, with skin pulled back over it like a feral skeleton, a pair of massive orange horns, and a singular eye, gleaming in its socket like an evil gemstone. These demons, as their name suggests, harvest souls to gain power. They shoot beams from their palms that, if connected with a target, pull out their life force. This life force is processed in the harvester's body to produce hell energy, which is powerful enough to resemble the damage inflicted by your trusty BFG. Taking them out is a game of staying out of their range. Though extremely effective, its beam attack is limited by its scope. So, stay far and shoot often in order to survive that.
Presence threat level 5 entering main laboratory.
Marauder. This super heavy gives us a glimpse of what our protagonist would have ended up as if he wasn't busy undoing all of his maker's prized creation. These reanimated versions of the fabled Night Sentinels have long forgotten their original purpose, allowing evil to creep into their hearts like the horns that now decorate their heads. Since coming back from the dead, the Dark Knights have but one goal: use the demonic energy of hell to bring down you, the Doomslayer, once and for all. And they're fully capable of doing so. The left half of their bodies are heavily armored, with a pauldron chestplate and a lobster gauntlet protecting them from incurring massive damage. They also keep a double-barreled shotgun strapped to their left thigh. With their right arm, they wield the Argent Axe, a weapon capable of harnessing Argent energy, which they also use to fashion a durable shield for themselves. All these pieces of equipment make the Marauder one of the best equipped enemy units in the whole franchise, and one that is equally prepared for a drawn-out battle. Besides the requisite amount of melee damage he can deal, the Marauder has 3 attack range, and each range comes with its own drawback. Fighting close range is dangerous, at the very least, thanks to his OP shotgun, which will blast you into posterity. Long-range fights are slightly safer because the Marauder only hurls beams of energy at you, but you can't get a decent shot in. Your only chance is dealing tangible damage is fighting at mid-range, when he's leaping to cleave you in half with his axe. Attacking mid-leap will stun him, allowing you to unleash hell. No pun intended. Okay, maybe a little bit of a pun. Otherwise, you're pretty much stuck attacking a guy who can't be frozen, chainsawed, or blown to bits with the big effing gun. So, stick tight and time well.
Demonic presence at unsafe level. Lockdown in effect.
Mancubus. As the age-old adage goes, we kept the best for last, and boy is he a slobberhogger. The Mancubus is your worst nightmare's worst nightmare, the very embodiment of gluttony. It looks like a teenage cyclops that was forcefully overfed to the point where its body grew around its natural armor, encasing it within its own flesh. One of the largest natural inhabitants of hell, this lumbering oaf's hunger is so great, it will eat anything in its path. Animals, buildings, humans, even rotting flesh, to match its idiosyncratic digestive cycle. The Mancubus is unique, you see. Anything it eats will rot away eventually, thanks to its digestive system, which breaks down organic material at a head-spinning rate. As a result, its body houses an incredibly noxious and flammable variety of bile, which can cause devastating damage when released. It does so via its arms, which are formed out of his chitinous overgrowth that has shaped itself into flamethrowers, allowing the Mancubus to hurl fireballs at the Slayer or blowtorch him if he wishes. If the Slayer gets too close, the Mancubus can execute a vent attack to create distance and deal devastating damage. It can also absorb damage like a sponge, so attacking it head-on is not a good idea. The only vulnerability it has lies in the very organ it aims to keep satisfied. Because of its gluttony and eccentric physiology, the Mancubus, being is rotting putrid flesh, is drawn over rancid organs that are most likely being held together by the noxious bile in their system. Their soft stomach cavity is held together by a clamp, and is also the solitary weak spot on their bodies. Bust its guts open and the Mancubus will explode in a storm of acidic and flammable bile that deals instant damage to anything within range. Though you might have to get a few shots in to confirm the blast, long-range engagement is the best option. You take it down, it takes some of its demon friends down, and no one dissolves in the poisonous digestive juices. That's a win-win scenario for everyone, ladies and gentlemen. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.